Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it prickles.
Watch Johnnie's Bite.
You know, I've watched you. Sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as politicians.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it prickles.
Watch Johnnie's Bite.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Johnnie's Bite. This morning, I trust that you're doing very fine. We are fine here, and we thank the Most High God for giving us the grace and mercy to be here again. Thank you to all our collaborators and stakeholders, as I like to call them, for making sure that we are always airborne, we are always all over the place, we are always telling the good news to the people and to guide the people and to let people know what is happening around our country. I want to say thank you also to all taxi drivers, all trot drivers, and all those who use their ride-hailing services, Uber, Bolt, Yango. I hear that you are loud and clear. People listen to us. There are drivers who listen to us unfailingly, and we want to celebrate you this morning. If you are one of them, beat your chest and be proud that we know that you listen to us and you spend time to also watch us. Let me also say to you this morning that the hashtag is Johnnie's Bite. Hashtag Johnnie's Bite. Hashtag 3FM Sunrise. That's the hashtag we're using this morning. Like, share, comment, and let the whole world see what's happening here. Transport fares are supposed to have been reduced by 15%, at least since Saturday. We go to the fuel pump. We are excited that the price of fuel is dropping, and somebody whispered that it may drop again sometime this week. I don't know about it. I don't work with the MPA. I don't work with any of the oil marketing companies, so I don't know. I only give you information that somebody who is a trusted source tells me. So we will wait. We will anticipate. But you go to the fuel pumps, you're excited. And then you go to many other places and you see that things are beginning to reduce. But there's a conundrum. The conundrum is that the drivers, or some drivers, are suggesting that because spare parts and other commodities like food, water, electricity, etc. have not reduced, they cannot reduce the transport fares by 15%. They are justified if they say that. And then there are those who also say that, look, if you reduce the fuel prices by 15%, or if you reduce the transport fare, by 15%, then you give us an opportunity to also reduce the prices of our wares and our goods and our services, because ours depend on yours. And we have heard the market women, say almost all the time that, look, they are bringing tomatoes and stuff from neighboring Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, or any of those countries. It takes a toll on them when they have to buy fuel at such exorbitant rates. And so that is what they pad the prices of the commodities with. And then we all have to bear the brunt of that economically to pay for it. So the question is, who goes first? Are we suggesting that those drivers who have already reduced their fares by 15% do not have their heads properly screwed on? And are we suggesting that until people reduce the prices of their wares in the market, we're not going to reduce the fares? Is it a case of anarchy, lawlessness? And where is our transport minister? Where are driver unions? Where are they? Our driver unions, our transport minister, where are they? Is this the national security issue? I don't know. But we must get to the point where if people are benefiting from a certain scheme, they must let it water down and trickle down to the very people at the bottom. As a driver, you are happy to go to the fuel pump and buy fuel less than what you used to buy it for. But you are unhappy to reduce the cost of, or the cost of the fare. And you make excuses for it. So if today somebody comes to say that you have been picked up, you will start crying wolf. Can we be fair with ourselves or to ourselves for once? Can we be fair to ourselves for once? When the fuel prices increase, you are quick to increase the fares. And then they make the flimsy, they give the flimsy excuse of saying that, a certain station master or bookman is supposed to bring us a list, and they have not brought the list. We have not seen the list. I'm told that in a trotro about 2 days ago, everybody had paid their fare. Everybody sat in the vehicle, paid the fare that they knew, the old fare. Because the driver and the mate said, they hadn't heard, they hadn't seen, they don't know about it, about any 15% reduction. They have not seen the list. Everybody paid. Then comes the 6 a.m. news, and then in the news, it is announced by their own leadership that there's a 15% reduction. And then suddenly, everybody in the trotro says, boss, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we seek to profiteer where we do not have to profiteer? Why? What do we gain from it? And then you find that market women also, suggestion is that, the dollar rate is coming down. The CD is becoming stronger. You will always hear the conversation that, this is old stock. Fair enough. But how long is the old stock supposed to be there or going to be there? When the prices increase, you still have the old stock there in your shop, but you increase the prices even if you have not gone to buy any new thing. When the prices increase and you have stock in your shop, even though you bought it at the old price or the old rate, you still will go ahead to increase the price. You still will go ahead to increase because you say prices have gone up. Now prices have gone down. The dollar rate is coming down. What are you doing? Are you complaining about old stock? Then when you finish, you go to church, you go to the mosque. When you finish doing all of these things, you go to the church, you go to the mosque. And then you go to the markets. And then you want to buy maybe gari or lunka, or you want to buy a margarine thing of gari or rice or wheat or whatever it is. And then you check the container. The container has been punched in. So you're actually not getting value for money. When they finish, they will go to church. You are selling palm oil in this country. Then you add Sudan dye, or what they call Sudim, knowing that you will kill people. And then when you finish, you will go to church. You sell fish in this country. You add formalin to it. Formalin that is used to preserve dead bodies. You add it to it. And then when you finish, you will go to church. You add it to Opoku, you add it to Oda, you add it to Kobe. When you finish, you will go to church. So I ask you the question, what is the essence of the church and the mosque that you attend? What is the essence? How are you living so that people get excited? Look, listen to this driver and this mate.
From Saturday. On kwa ji the off every po off and ka na ebi mo je 9 cd do. Ebi mo je 9 cd men ka say
12 cd. Sankara no o time no to me. Sankara 10 cd.
Okay, 10 cd. Okay, Matiwati. Okay, Matiwati. Na ji sia femi atete so na. I'm my list. I'm my list.
Come on. I can't
I'm in a good mood.
So, you see, I'm on my list, there's supposed to be a 15% reduction in transport fares when you sit in a trotro, come together as passengers and insist on your right. It is your right. It is a gift from the government to you. When you sit in a trotro, insist on your right. When you sit in a taxi, insist on your right. It cannot be business as usual. Take me to the US, please. The global shame that we had, the global shame that was brought upon us by a few greedy people who we trusted to represent all of us in Washington, D.C. The global shame. No, put out the notice. We're reopening the, the Washington, D.C. office. This is from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Reopening of the Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C., United States of America. It's dated April 27, May 2025. May 27, 2025. Following the recall of home-based staff and the suspension of local staff of the Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C., United States of America, a team of seasoned diplomats led by an astute diplomat from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been tasked to run the mission to ensure total systems overhaul, restoring integrity in the embassy's operations, and complete ongoing structural reforms. It is worth noting that an information technology team has already been deployed to reconfigure the website and payment platforms to do away with all unofficial and unauthorized links associated with the IT systems of the embassy. The ministry wishes to inform the general public that the embassy is set to reopen on Thursday, the 29th of May, 2025. We assure the measures have been put in place to clear the backlog. Any inconvenience resulting from our necessary interventions is deeply regretted. All inquiries may be channeled to the following. It's there. And this should not have happened in the first place. This global shame and embarrassment should not have happened in the first place. That you have people working in the embassy representing all of us who were literally siphoning monies between $29 and $60, visa applications and all of that per applicant, and they were collecting the monies. I hope we don't treat the perpetrators with kids' gloves. No. Come to me. I hope we don't treat them with kids' gloves. I hope we actually deal with them painfully so that it serves as a deterrent. And the question I ask is that, so the rest of the IT team, what really were they doing? Were they sleeping on the job or were they struggling to stay awake? Were they sleeping on the job or were they struggling to stay awake? Foreign Minister Kudeto Ablakwa has moved. Better late than never. But we understand that for 5 solid years, 5 years, this was going on. 5 years. 5 years this was going on. 5 solid years. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eko, enyo, eche, eje, enumo. 5. 5 years. How could this not have been detected by anybody? 5 years. If we had the right protocols in place, 5 years. Do you know what this means for bilateral relations? Do we know? Do we know? Do we know? Let me pack it here. Now, take me to the University of Education, Winneba. A lecturer was gruesomely murdered. The University Teachers Association of Ghana there has written a statement. It was written on Sunday the 25th, but I want to read it to you today for good reason. It is to all media house and it is for your attention. The UTAG, UEW chapter has received with deep shock and sorrow the devastating news of the murder of one of our esteemed members, Professor Koku Amedeka, whose body was discovered and exhumed from his residence at Jaheze, a suburb of Winneba. This heartbreaking incident has shaken not only the UEW academic community, but entire nation. UTAG UEW sympathizes with the bereaved family, his students, his colleagues, and the entire UEW fraternity during this difficult time. We extend our deepest condolences and share in their grief. We appreciate the solidarity from UTAG National and UTAG National Executive Council in this uncomfortable period we find ourselves. We equally commend the Ghana Police Service for the swift commencement of investigations and the arrest of one suspect thus far. However, we strongly urge the police to intensify their efforts to ensure that all individuals connected to this heinous act are apprehended and brought to justice without delay. As a union, UTAG UEW remains committed to supporting the investigative process in any capacity necessary to aid in the pursuit of justice. This is not only a matter of accountability, but also a crucial affirmation of the safety and sanctity of our academic institutions. The tragic loss of Professor Amedeka is a stark reminder of the urgent need for enhanced security and protection for members of the academic community and Ifutu communities. We hereby call on the stakeholders, including government security agencies and the university authorities, to work collaboratively to ensure that the safety and well-being of all staff and students across the campus. May the soul of Prof. rest in peace, signed by Dr. Bernard Tutubuain, his PhD, is the secretary of UTAG. Also, Stephen Osei Echau is the president, UTAG UEW, and their phone numbers are there. Quite sad indeed. I want to dovetail this into a conversation. It's sad. And we remember how, you remember Professor Benne also at Legon. You remember that? Professor Benne at Legon, how he was gruesomely murdered in his home. Have we found the killers? I don't know. But this has come to add on to the numbers. You remember Reverend Nyabemado of Assemblies of God? You remember him? Have we found the murderers? I don't know. You remember J.B. Dankwedu? I don't know. You remember Ahmed Swale? I don't know. I can go on and on and on and on about many unsolved murders which have become, if you will, cold cases. Now the conversation is that the people who did that most likely may be living with us. And if we don't apprehend them, we may be in trouble sooner than later. Dovetailing this into what is happening in our secondary schools. You see a student fighting a teacher. I saw one at Accra High recently. I was so angry. So angry. A student fighting a teacher at Accra High School. I was so angry. And then later, I understand that the student that recorded the video, never mind that phones are not supposed to be in the secondary schools, but the student that recorded the video was beaten to pulp by members of the gang of the indisciplined individual who went to fight his teacher. So they are forming gangs in the schools. I have showed you videos of how students are throwing stones at each other. They have machetes and cutlasses and they are aiming at each other. I've shown you videos here. But we all sat down, all of us good men and good women, we sat down in this country when we decided that what we know to be parent-teacher association, we took the teachers out and we had a so-called parents association. We, the good people of this country, we sat down and watched. For political expediency, we sat down and watched and encouraged that nonsense to happen. Parent association. The students have gone to school. They have returned to school. They are in the boarding house. There are housemasters and senior housemasters. There are tutors and governors and whatever it is in the schools. And then we decided that while the children are going to be in school, or while they are in school, the parents will have a role to play, the school will have a role to play, but the teachers who manage the affairs of the students every single day will not have a role to play. We said we had parent association. What nonsense. And all of us sat down and watched, from teacher unions to everybody sat down and watched. We were doing touch and go, touch and go. That nonsense of parent association is what has brought us to this point, where the power to discipline has been taken away from the teachers. When we were in school, though even those who brought that so-called parent association, when they were in school, weren't parents and teachers collaborating to discipline them and to shape them to become what they have become today? Back in the day, your parents will beat you at home and bring you to the school and ask the teacher to continue. Or the teacher will beat you and take you home and your parents will continue. I'm not talking about corporal punishment in this day, but I'm talking about the fact that if a teacher sees a student who is improperly dressed, not properly tucked in, and he says, my friend, please tuck in well. And then the student said, I don't go tuck in, what do you go fi do? That is where we have gotten at this point. We have gotten there. We have reached there. The kind of parenting that we provide to the children is suspect. And we sat down and watched and we said, it is parent association. There's no parent-teacher association. It's parent association. Parent association. So teachers were hiding behind WhatsApp platforms, masquerading as parents, to be making suggestions on WhatsApp pages and to be making certain suggestions and demands so that what the students need in the schools would actually be provided. How shameful that you are a teacher and you are afraid because some overzealous politician who had brought their child to school will then go and report you and then you will be dealt with. That is all of us who are good men. We kept quiet. We endorsed the nonsense. Today it is coming back to bite us. A teacher was stabbed in the eye by a student. You remember that? What has happened? Where is GES? Where is the Ministry of Education? It didn't happen under this administration. You can say the Accra High teacher and students thing happened under this administration, but all the others happened in the previous one. Go to WAS, all of those schools. What happened? We said we had parent association. We took the teachers out, and the teachers were also sitting down and watching. Parent association. What we have always known is PTA, or the lie. So when somebody came and because of political expediency says, let's have parent association, I am not in the school. I don't live in the school with the people. You, at some point, were not even allowing parents to visit their children in the name of so-called free SHS. The policy is good. Implementation was bad. We know. We kept quiet. We kept quiet. That is what has brought us to this point. Now, if this is happening to male teachers, where students are beginning to fight male teachers, imagine, think for a second, what could be happening to female teachers? Female teachers who are vulnerable, female teachers who are not physical. Just think, just for a moment, what could be happening to female teachers? And we all sat in this country and watched. You see, you are ashamed. You will be ashamed. You will be embarrassed. We all watched. Nana and Kamasem, we all watched. Meanwhile, it is our children. And I always kept reminding you that those who brought those policies and those initiatives and those directions do not have their children in the schools that we're talking about. Those public schools, those who brought those things, Parent Association, Kominini, all those ones, they don't have their children in those schools. They either fly them out, or if they are here, they attend international schools where the best standards and practices are kept. In those international schools, the parents and teachers and the schools collaborate. They have PTA in those schools. In the schools abroad, they have PTA in those schools. We said we were going to do parent association because we are so wise. Today, our wisdom has brought us on our knees. Hey, take me to 1963, the Daily Graphic. We'll talk about floods a bit. Now, this is a 1963 Daily Graphic. Right, it was in the 60s. It says, when the rains came to Accra, we're talking about floods recently. It didn't start now, but it's gotten worse. When the rains came to Accra. And then on that same front page, you have fast train services planned. Are you thinking SkyTrain? I don't know. And then STC service. I read somewhere there STC lands, STC buses. So you see, deja vu. This has happened before. And all of it's the same script, different actors, different players. It's playing out. Same script, different actors, different players. In the 60s, we promised ourselves that we will have fast train services. In fact, there's even one, Pope calls for peace. At that time, there had been a new Pope. Now we also have a new Pope, Alai. Deja vu was there. We said that, oh, we're going to have fast train services. It's planned. Show me the rail line at Aveno. What tomato plaloy? This is our rail line. And it is not as if the rail line is not functional. They use it this morning, they have used it, they'll use it again in the evening. You find people hanging onto the train as if they are bees hanging on to something. Oh, yes, fast trains planned. This is it. It is in the capital city of the Republic of Ghana. It is not in a bush, Taflache. It is not in a bush. No. It is not in a bush. Now, I'm talking about this and the floods because I want to talk about what's happening on the coast in the Volta region. For a long time, they have had the issues with the tidal waves. Right? And you can clearly see from what's happening on your screens now that the streets or the road has been taken over by sand from the coast. Abochi Philip, good morning. It's been taken over. So the gentlemen are using bare hands to try and dig. Their ancestral homes are gone. I remember in the previous administration, as Senso Boachi was the Minister for Works and Housing, right? When it rained and they had an issue, it was Mamaga Ablajifa Gomashi who took food there first. And then later the Nadmo man who wanted to be MP went there. There was heated exchanges between them. They were promised that the sea defense wall will be built for them. The rest, they say, is history. Now what they are saying is that the NDC only knows they are paying in opposition, but in power, they don't know they are paying. This is their reality. Like, show me, Future Ghana has a drone shot. Show me. Future Ghana, thank you very much. Look at it. You can clearly see that the sea is coming straight into the town. The sea is coming. It's coming straight into the town. The sea is coming straight into the town. And yesterday, regrettably, I saw some people blaming Honorable Ablanjifa Gomashi, MP for Ketu South. I can beat my chest and say that that woman has done a lot for you if you have suddenly forgotten. Of course, a big man told me once that the markets have no memory. And it is true. But she has done a lot for you. Remember when Nadmo ignored you for about 2 weeks? She brought you food. She brought you clothes. As we speak now, Ablajifa Gomashi, MP for Ketu South, has lost her dad. Not so long ago, about 2-3 days ago. She's in mourning. So for anybody to come to suddenly suggest that she doesn't care, she's not present, she's absent, I think that's most unfair to Honorable Ablajifa Gomashi. She's grieving, she lost her dad, but I want you to remember that while in opposition, Even when she was disadvantaged, so to speak, the maize and the condo and all those things that she was bringing to you, have you suddenly forgotten? The bags of rice, suddenly forgotten? What could she have done in opposition after making all those statements in parliament? And the government of the day at the time refused. Now there's a new government in town, and the demand must be made of the new government. What is happening to the sea defense war? It is the sea defense war conversation we're talking about. What is happening to it? That is it. Your ancestral homes are being washed away. Your lives are being made difficult. It is okay, we understand. But the demands must be made of the authority. I'll play a final video for you, then we'll close. Yesterday, the health minister, Kwabena Minta Kandra, many people, I think that most of the ministers should be telling people what they do on a regular. Yesterday alone, 4 boards, Medical and Dental Council, Health Insurance Authority, put it there, put the video up there, the collage that we put together. Just put it up there. Kwabena Minta Kandra, MP for Dwaboso. Yesterday when I went to his office, I felt bad for him because the gentleman barely had food to eat. Meeting people and going up and down, running from parliament, I felt bad for him. I felt very bad for him. But this is what work he's doing. And I'm sure that if all the people kept putting up what they do, or keep putting up what they do, I'm sure that their scorecards will be up there. My name is Johnnie Hughes. Have a good morning. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-015.